Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
Sprinkled throughout this episode with Zack Davis is we're talking about jiu-jitsu and martial arts, and really how those small things compound into bigger things. And I really like this part of the conversation because we often underestimate the importance and the compounding effect of small things, but they really do add up to great things in our life. And anyone can do a small thing, but it's with repeated, consistent action that those small things compound into bigger things. So I hope you guys get a lot out of this. You never underestimate the power of jiu-jitsu and how it can help you overcome fears and other things. Hope this will inspire you to live a more intentional, focused, driven life. Talk to me about, I think I saw your martial arts.
Yeah, I've done some martial arts too, yeah.
How do you, I saw it and I clicked on it, I read a little bit, but I saw an article yesterday about martial arts, kids that do martial arts, and how much more self-controlled they are through life.
Yeah.
Do you think that plays into mindset? Does martial arts, that's my question, does martial arts play into mindset?
Yeah.
As far as helping people be more intentional?
Yeah, I would say so. I think if I would have done it as a kid, it would have helped a lot with anxiety and fear of confrontation and things like that. So the kids that do it, I look up to them, honestly. I've got friends that have kids that train, and I think it's cooler that they like to do it because my outlet was basketball. Everyone has an outlet, but I started playing basketball in about 5th grade, and that's all I did for 20 years after that. That's all I did. No football, no soccer.
Just basketball.
Just basketball. So,
are you pretty good?
I mean, you can ask your listeners. No, I'm kidding. No, I think when you play something that long, obviously you're good. But it is something I really enjoy. But yeah, I mean, I can play basketball. But that came from hours and hours of doing it. The same way that you're so good at investing in things like that is because it's your reps.
Yeah.
But something I think about is, what if I was more diversified early? Would that have helped or hurt? Because I was solely focused on that. That's all I ever wanted to do. I didn't even try other stuff. But my wife, she was starting to do Muay Thai when I was 25, 26 or so. And then she needed to do some jiu-jitsu. Well, Tez, he trained jiu-jitsu at American Top Team. And that's here in the city. And he was like, well, I train here. If you want to come try here. I was like, okay. So I went and tried a class. It sucked because I was just like, this is hard. Because I never grew up wrestling. And it's not wrestling, but you're wearing a kimono, and it's a gi, but it's thick, and you're real close to people.
But most basketball players aren't wrestlers.
No, they're not wrestlers. I mean,
during the school year, those sports are going the same time.
Like maybe if I was a football player, I would have transitioned better where I was like, oh, this is fun. But so she needed somewhere to do jiu-jitsu. It all just lines out. Everything always lines out. So we went there and ended up falling in love with it. I needed it now that I look back, even though it's only been a little over 3 years, maybe 4 years now that I've been training jiu-jitsu and MMA and things like that. But I missed that structure of like just going and putting in work and then leaving it there, because that's all I used to do is go to the gym, put in some hours, and leave. So it gave me a lot of structure. I like having a good coach. I wasn't blessed enough to have like great coaches. I have 2 coaches that I really looked up to, but they're the 2 coaches that coached me the least out of my career. They were just great guys. One was Sam Weber. He has a podcast too. And then Tyrone at Municipal downtown. He's like a legend around that scene. But those were the 2 I looked up to. But then when I got into jiu-jitsu, Giuliano Galappi, he's the coach. I like that structure. So I think it helps you a lot with having to have that respect level. You're having to learn something that you don't know what to do, so you have to really pay attention. So that's working something as well. And then there's manners. Like there's respect and manners in that type of environment. And then there's intensity, because sometimes it's wrestling, but sometimes you're sparring. So I think it gives you such a wave of emotions, but you always have to have a level head. So thinking about it, I think it helps you navigate tough situations. I think it does make you calmer because, one, you're just putting out so much output that you're literally tired. You're not really worried about anything, because same when you do all your running, I bet you're not as upset when the light turns red early. You're like, I'll just wait here. It's not even a big deal. But I think it helps a lot with mindset and pushing through it, because times get hard. I mean, something random it helped me with was my claustrophobia. Like, I don't like elevators. You could ask Tez. I don't like elevators. We went on a trip, and he wanted to go on one that looked suspect to me, and he got stuck for like 5 minutes between floors. And I was like, see, I told you when they look like this. So that was something I really didn't like. But in jiu-jitsu, you're smashed, and a lot of people are bigger than you. So that's something funny that it helped me with. I'm like, it can stop at any time. Just breathe. It's not the end of the world. Like, I tell myself this when I'm wrestling with someone, because sometimes you get pinned, and in the past I'd want to panic. I'm like, no, just breathe and like work on the moves that you're supposed to do to get out. And that was like the X factor interesting part for me. It always does something for somebody, but that was for me where I was like, no, I'm okay in those tight situations now, where I used to, like, I didn't want to get pinned down or I didn't want to be in an elevator, like things like that. But I think it helps you navigate tough times.
Well, and the clarity it gives you because you're in a difficult situation. Someone's on top of you. You're scared because it's dark and they weigh a lot and whatnot.
And you're just stuck.
It broadens your horizon, makes you stronger. And I guess that's something that, you know, as Americans, maybe as a culture, I should say, we don't like to lean into the hard, the scary, the uncomfortable. But that's when the most growth happens. You know, if I think back to your story, I mean, you said you changed jobs, got your license, bought a house, all in a month, right? Like, that was a huge amount of growth for you. And if you were to get a stress test at the time, you would have been off the charts, I'm sure. But looking back, it's one of your proudest months probably, because you had so much growth and so much. So that's...
go ahead.
You finished.
I was just going to say, in those moments, like, for some reason, and it's funny because that's what my podcast is called, Keep Going, and that's what me and Tez always tell each other is keep going. But it's just like when they're like, they brought you this far, not to just go this far, or whatever people say. Like, I wouldn't be here if I couldn't do it. So I just really try to not be on that why me, like, this is too hard mindset. I'm like, no, there has to be a way. Like, it has to work out. And if for some reason it doesn't work out, that's the way it was supposed to work out. And I think that's why more opportunities have come available, and the consistency, because I'm sure you've seen a huge turnover. You've been in real estate for so many years. You see the ones that don't do it anymore, but then you see the ones that have been in it really long. And I feel blessed when I look back at how many years. I'm like, oh, I'm already coming up on 7-8 years of doing real estate. That's a blessing in itself, even if it stopped today. So I think it comes down to gratitude, and then just knowing that you can do it, because you're going to figure, you know, there's enough resources and you have enough grit that you can figure it out. So that's just what I lean into.
Especially, Zach, in the running world. I'm kind of getting into the ultra world a little bit, where I'm getting kind of bored with marathons. I know.
I've never ran one. I'm in decent shape, but for some reason it kind of intimidates me. I mean,
it's hard.
It's got to be hard.
It's really hard. And it's reps.
26 miles is crazy.
And that's what I would say is it's just reps. And that's why I would almost argue anyone can do it, because it's just reps. And it's 40, 50 miles a week, and it's getting out there and just doing it over and over and over.
I'm probably at like 15 miles a week on my legs, and then bicycling maybe, if I do the lake twice, that's another 24. So I'm still less than 50.
I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I do think anyone can do it if they believe in compound effect. Because you get better and better and better. But in the ultra running world, and ultra is anything over a marathon. But usually a 50K would be your smallest, which would be 31 miles. But those go up to like 250 miles.
Yeah, I've seen some of those, like David Goggins and stuff.
Yeah. But talking about keep going,
Mm-hmm.
keep hammering, that's the mantra there. Because, and the thing that becomes so addicting about those long ones is you get to the end of yourself, literally, you'd think you got nothing left.
I bet.
And you dig a little deeper. And a common phrase is, you just got to walk this one home, walk this one in. And it's because you got nothing left, but you can walk.
Yeah.
But it's the breakdown, the hard, the difficult.
Yeah.
That is addicting, and that keeps people doing it.
How long did it take you to do your first marathon?
Well, my first marathon, I was really naive, and I went way too fast. But I did it in 3 hours and 33 minutes.
But you made it.
I did.
That's too fast, though.
Well, my first half was 132, which is like the fastest half I've ever ran.
Mm-hmm.
So I burned up my legs early on. I just didn't know. Like what I've learned, and that's the other thing. Like the first time you wrestled somebody, like you don't even know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And so there's this huge learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
I recently PR'd.
Okay.
But the difference between the first one and then this would be my sixth was night and day difference, because I was hardly sore the next day, and I felt great. And it was because of the time and the reps and the knowledge and just knowing what's going on with your body. And so even though I went faster, it was much easier.
But like training wise up to it, is that something you put in some time before? You're like, I'm going to do a marathon, and just went and signed up?
Yeah. So the reason I signed up for the first one is I was 41 years old and fat. And
how long ago was this?
It's 2 years ago.
You were fat 2 years ago. Look at you. You look great.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I signed. I told my brother, I said, I think I'm going to sign up for a half. And he's like, Marty, anyone can run a half. Do a full. And him and I were both reading Grant Cardone's books at the time, 10X. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, you can do it.
But I didn't know what I was getting into. But it was good, and it led me down this trail of...
Yeah, because I see you running pretty often.
More intentional.
That's something I want to get into. I'm pretty slow on it.
But circling back, I guess, to martial arts, self-improvement,
mm-hmm.
the compound effect, and I guess that's what
the jiu-jitsu, it relates to that compound effect a lot because it's only reps.
Mm-hmm.
It's a belt system. So, you got white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. And then there's even above black belt once you've been in it for so long. But, that's years. I mean,
and it's reps. And you get faster.
That's daily. And
you see that your opponent standing a certain way or responding a certain
mm-hmm.
way, and you know what's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's an automatic response because of the reps.
Yeah, but it's such a good explanation of life that it's so much about compounding, because you have to go X amount of times per week consistently just to stay on track.
Mm-hmm.
You take a month off or a couple months off, things change a lot. So it's interesting for sure, and it's gave me a lot of structure.
And don't you think, to focus on compounding for a second here, it's the same in sales, right?
Yeah.
The more you do it, you take guys out for coffee, or you go to schools, or whatever you were saying you were doing, or all these things you do, it gets easier and easier to have the conversations rather than stay at the model home and hope someone comes to you.
Even today when I was driving over here, I talk to myself a lot throughout the day, and I was getting in my car to drive over here, and I said, this is just another level of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We do these things every day just to improve ourselves and move the needle. And that's what I think when I'm going to record one of my own podcasts, or I'm going just to have personal time mm-hmm. with somebody, or it is work related, I'm going to a conference, whatever. This is just part of it. You just do these things to add up.
Yeah.
Not everything is got to give you something right now. And I think that's what's helped me.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I guess I love, Zach, is a lot of times we want things right now.
Yeah.
And we're not willing to put the reps in. So we want the black belt. What's
right.
the earliest a guy could get a black belt? Is that 30 years?
No. Most people
15?
No, most people get them in like 10 years, I would say.
10 years.
But I'm still new. Being almost 4 years, like I'm very new, even though I've done
mm-hmm.
it so much. But Some people 8 years. I'm sure there's some people that have got it less. But what I've seen from most of the people that I train with, it's about 10 years or so.
10 years of consistency.
10 years of like 2-a-days. Like, it's a lot of reps. A guy I look up to, multiple I look up to, there's a bunch of black belts there now. When I started, there wasn't, but I got to see a lot of them get promoted. Like my friend Shakir, he's in real estate. I did a podcast with him. But a guy there named Josh, he's like no social media, off the grid. But he just meant a lot to me in my journey with jiu-jitsu because I saw how hard he was working and like how much he set the standard just for him. I was like, man, you do 2-a-days every day? Like, you do extra every day? And he's like, yeah, it gave me purpose. This is what saved my life. He came from a rough background, was making bad choices, and then jiu-jitsu changed his life. And that was a nice person to look up to. I'm like, no, every time I think I'm tired or can't do more, he's done more. So it helps me know that it's possible. And like, yeah, those people doing it for 10 years, like, it's a lot of work. Like, the time, yes, but it's like physical, beatings. Like, you're wrestling and something's always hurt and your toes hurt or your elbow or your shoulder or you scraped your face or whatever. You just have to kind of push through that, and it's tough. So when I do now see people that have been established, I'm like, well, they put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
So it's nice to look up to, but it gave me a lot of structure.
Well, and I think in anything, whether it's jiu-jitsu, sales, investing, running, it's the compound effect. Those things that were hard initially, they get easier. And as you look back, you're actually, I mean, going back to gratefulness, you're grateful for the difficulties.
Yeah.
Because it grew you to the point that now those things are easy.
And then when it circles back, because sometimes I take breaks. Sometimes I'm like, hey, I can't roll for a month, or I need to do this. I need to work on something else that hard for this period of time. It makes it easier when you're reintroduced to that toughness, that wall, that hurdle. You're like, no, I've been here before. Like, I know what it is. And I think that helps a lot. Whether it's physically or mentally, because even if you go through a downtime in your business, when you do turn on a dime or pivot and make some successes, you're like, yeah, this is always right there. It's just you got to put in the work to get it. Like this huge spread or this nice client or whatever it is, that's always right there. You just got to, sow the seeds. And I'm big on planting seeds. So I used to say that in my new home sales. Like, I'm just planting seeds today. I haven't got paid in a month, but I planted a lot of seeds, so it's got to be at some point.
At some point, it's going to turn.
Yeah, and I think in sales, you have to have a good mindset because it's not it is consistent. That's why I always say I'm blessed, is that I found consistency in it, but there's no guarantee stuff. Like, it's not like every 2 weeks I get X amount of dollars. Of course, passive income, there's all these levels to it, but just in the general scheme, you have to make it happen. And it just gives me a lot of confidence every day when I look back at the time. I'm like, oh, coming up 7-8 years, I guess it works. And it makes me laugh because I just feel like anyone can do those things if I was able to do those things. I'm like, can't believe you do it.
And that's one message I really want people to get on this podcast is we're ordinary people we talk to, we interview. But the compound effect of doing the ordinary becomes extraordinary with time.
Yes, sir.
And that's why you can just keep going and keep going because it does compound. It can compound one way or it can compound the other, because that's the other thing.
Yeah. There's down times. That's something I struggled with. In the beginning, I went very hard on work only, where my balance with my personal life was very bad. My wife and I weren't doing well because I wasn't present. I was working like 9 to 9, just trying to make sure, because it was my first time never having any guaranteed money. I'm like, we got to do something. We've got this mortgage and blah, blah, blah. But then I flipped it, and then I went into the personal real hard. And my coworkers, Tez, whoever, they're like, hey, like, are you all right? Like, you need to lock in? Like, what's going on? And then I started finding a medium. And that was probably 3 years ago. I found a decent medium. But then every year after that, it's just gotten better. Every year after that, it's just gotten better. And it's not always, I had a month twice as big as my last month. It's not always money-wise.
Yeah.
And that's something that I love, is I'm like, no, I'm just better now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happier. People around me are better. My situation's better. My mindset, bank account, all these things. But not putting that bank account first has always helped me
mm-hmm.
stay more grateful.
And that's something you have to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to make money, make the world go round, and it's not. It's not.
I have a lot more fun with other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of hobbies. I like to play.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do things. So it's easy for me to find stuff that interests me. I'll talk to people and ask them what their hobbies are, and they may not have some. I'm like, whew, that's got to be a hard one. Because you can be a successful businessman, and or a businesswoman. I look up to those people.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of you for putting in that work. It takes time. It takes effort. But you don't like to draw or like cook, or you don't like to run. You have to do things for yourself. Your life is short.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's 90 years, 100 years, or 25 years.
Yeah.
You just got to make your breath count. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Even really high level successful millionaires and things. They just, well, I need this. What quarter are we in? Is this quarter better? Like, I'm interested in that to an extent because I want financial freedom, but not at the sacrifice of living a good life.
Mm-hmm.
I will not do it. And I think when my mindset shifted, I made more money and I lived better.
Mm-hmm.
But before I was just chasing a carrot. So I'm still learning. I mean, I'm still young. Everything could change, but I feel like it's going to just keep compounding if in a few years it got so much better. So
that's good. Zach, what would you say is your favorite book? Book or maybe podcast?
I'm trying to think, because when I told you earlier that there was books I've listened to a lot, it's all on adventure. I'm a big adventure guy. Like, I want to pack my bag and be gone for 6 months. So
what's an adventure book?
Through Sand and Snow by Charlie Walker. That's just the first one that popped into my head because I just listened to it the other day when I was playing pool. But he basically just goes on a cycling trip across multiple countries, ends up in like Siberia and Russia and all these places. But those are the books that grab me the most.
Yeah.
Is those real world books like that where they just push through something really hard. So maybe without noticing it, now that you're making me think about it, they end up always being kind of like mindset books because it's someone that's just surviving. So I'm into that.
They do the struggle. Mm-hmm. They do the adventure.
Yeah.
And you know, as men, we want adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I want it bad.
And there's our hobbies in one way or the other, I think, point back to some kind of adventure we're trying to have.
Yeah, I talked to my wife about it too. Because she'll be like, hey, you need to take a solo trip for yourself and go do this. And I do. I set time aside. But I also tell her, you know, with my busyness, even those breaks with hobbies for a couple hours or a weekend, it's a nice recharge.
Yeah.
Because I really check out. Like I said, playing pool or basketball or soccer or jiu-jitsu or something, I really check out where I used to not to. It's like, oh, I'm rolling, but I'm thinking about how I missed that sales call. Now it's just I'm here now.
That's good.
And it makes me a lot more refreshed.
That's good. How about final message? You got one message to share to the world. What does Zack Davis want to tell the world?
I think it's possible for anyone to, it sounds like any message you ever hear, like anyone can do, you know, what they put their mind to, but you'd just be surprised what you can do when you expose your worldview or expand your worldview. Whether that's traveling or talking to different cultures or just learning new business ventures. I feel like anything is really possible, but you can't get caught up in comparing to everybody else. You could get stuck in that forever. So I'm big on being grateful, loving yours, and keep going.
That's good.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Zach.
No, thank you, man. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
You too. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So If this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share. And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.